Okay, try this again. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Scone, presented by Boudreaux's. Boudreaux's Mix, Bloody Mary Mix, Margarita Mix. Awesome peeps. Love it if y'all could give them a follow on their page, a like on their page. And Stephen Miller, what's up? Lil C, what's up? Ann Linda, what's up? Craig, what's up? Robert Boudreaux, what's up? Stephen Bro, what's up? Val Browning, what's up? Trying this again. So apparently our little buddy there wasn't only hitting filters this time or tapping the screen or flipping the screen, he actually turned off the feed, which is always kind of what I'm afraid of. Joey, Everett, Craig, hey babe. Erica's watching. Drew's up, babe. He's doing fine. He's very happy. He just came in here and turned off the feed. Brian Wampold, good morning. Kyle Gallo, take two. Steven just finished Locked On LSU. Hey, Steven, so I think, thank you, by the way, man. I appreciate that. My objective, I think, eventually is going to be, excuse me, record that at night, like right before I go to bed. So it publishes at midnight, so everybody, like right when you wake up, it's there. Because what I've been doing is I've been doing Morning Scone, going to Guarantee, recording Locked On LSU there around 9, publishing it around 10. Anyway, just an idea. Matt Boyles, Brandon Ray, good morning. If y'all got questions, fire away. Love the free Devin White billboards. Democracy at its greatest, isn't it? When fans get together, start a movement, raise $6,000. I actually published a story. So some of y'all might have seen, like if you're on Twitter or whatever, the Fan Media Network. Interesting idea. It's an app where fans or media, anybody, can open an account, and it's 60-second videos you do from your phone, and you can publish it to this app, and it runs in a feed of news stories. Well, anyway, they have a deal with Apple News, so some of their higher trending their higher trending stories get into Apple News. So I did a story last night for them. Hang on. What are you doing? You see Robert? Robert. So the story I did for the fan media site, Robert was the 7th highest trending sports story on Apple News last night. So if you go to Apple News, like their sports story, like it was the story about Roman Reigns, acknowledging his leukemia, his World Series. It was like these major stories, and then me talking about the free Devin White billboards. I hope y'all can hear me still. I think y'all can hear me. Pretty sure. Gotta find us some Robert. How about that? Robert. By the way, y'all can probably tell he's saying Robert much better now. Instead of Awa, he's actually saying Robert. He's coming along, man. Elise, Mikkel, good morning. Josh Ockman, good morning from Kazakhstan. Wow. What time is it in Kazakhstan or Kazakhstan? Thanks for watching. Drew just went, wow. Excuse me. Robert. Bob Kubrick, good morning. Scott Rodri, good morning. Stephen Bork, Stephen Johnson. Let's see. Drew said take two. He did, bro. He came in here and turned the thing off. Trivia, I didn't win the Mega Millions, so I'm here. You know what trivia? You know what's funny about the Mega Millions? So, excuse me. If the jackpot's like $80 million, right? So last night it was like 1.6 billion, right? If the jackpot's like 80 million, people just like sneeze at that. Like, I'm not gonna buy it too. It's $80 million. But like, you see 1.6, oh, I gotta buy that. You know, it's amazing. People won't go buy a ticket for 80 million. When in context, you think $80 million. You're like, that's more money than any of us could probably count to. And people are like, good. I'll wait till it gets to $1 billion, and then I'll buy a ticket. Anyway, Chris Robreyer, what's up? Thank you, Mikkel. Said I'm enjoying Locked on LSU. Another great job. So Locked on LSU is, for those that are maybe just watching for the first time, my whole concept, that's think of AFR condensed to like 20 minutes. Hit the big LSU stories, get like 4, 5, or 6 stories in there, all in about 20 minutes, some relevant sound bites. If I have cuts from my show or Off the Bench or Hester or something like that, I'll work them in there as well as talking points. I mean, I appreciate everybody who's listening to that. And I've told you before, man, my whole objective, like, I'm so competitive, and the Tennessee guy right now has the number 1 in the college Locked On network. So first weekend I was 6th. So I leaped in first week. We leapfrogged a whole bunch of them all the way up to 6th. But I'm so competitive, so I don't want to be 6th. I want to be first. So I got you in my sights, Josh Ward. Josh Ward's the Tennessee guy. Met him at media. He's really good. He does a good job. He does a show up in Tennessee on WNML. Anyway, but he's doing the Tennessee Locked On. And got my sights on you, Josh Ward. Hang on. Kelly, hi. Okay. As many times as I'd like disengage here, like get up and walk away to go change end a food pump or change a TV show or something, it is kind of amazing how many of y'all keep watching this throughout all that. Normally, like if guys you just leave. It is interesting though, which convinces me, what all of you say, like we're only here for Drew. I totally believe it. It's like going to Mike the Tiger's cage, where you'll stand there for 20 minutes, like just in hopes that he might like get up from that corner and jump into the pool for a minute. You get that one cool moment. So I don't think anybody really cares what I have to say on the show, which is actually okay. I've accepted that. That's cool. Richard Dodd, does White practice with the first team the next 2 weeks? How does that work? Because you want to rep. That's a really good question, Richard. I'll ask Ogeron when we get a chance to do that. But I mean, absolutely you do, because he's still got to play in the games. He'll play the whole second half. I think you keep repping. Robert. No, don't you do it. Don't you turn us off again. Don't you turn us off again. I can't let you do that. That's a bad habit you just started, bud.
Elmo Ducks.
Elmo Ducks. Okay, I'll show you Elmo Ducks. Crazy. I mean, you're crazy, bro. Here's your Elmo Ducks. Lord. First he wants Robert, now he wants Elmo Ducks. But yeah, Richard, my guess is they if I had to guess, sometimes I read too much into what coaches say, and Ogeron mentioned Patrick Queen first yesterday. At Florida they played Baskerville for Phillips, but maybe they like Queen better in Devin White's spot. I'll be interested to see what they do. But like I've said a bunch of times, I trust Dave Aranda to get it right. Frank, Douglas, Boyce, Jay, good morning, y'all. Blake DeVilliers, how does Aranda generate pressure on Tua? I don't think, he says because Tua, if he has time, will pick the defense apart. I disagree. I think they do against Tua what they did against Manziel back in 12 and 13, if you remember that. You rush 3, you basically form a pocket around him, you don't let him escape and beat you with his feet, and you make him sit back there and throw the ball in the tight windows. Now, Tua is fantastic, but, I mean, I would rather have, 6 guys dropping into coverage against 3 receivers, so everybody's double-teamed, and you just figure, hey, man, if you can get a guy open, scheme a guy open, or fit a ball into a tight window, good on you. I'm not saying he can't, but I think it makes it much tougher. And if you make him a runner, he takes some hits, maybe becomes a little more pensive. That's what I'd guess they're going to do. Shannon, Petey, good morning. Stephen Upshaw, good morning. Sean Walsh, Craig Savoy, good morning. Catherine, good morning. Josh Ockman, 5:51 p.m. Matt, what happened at 5:51 p.m.? What did I miss? Oh, it's what time it is in Kazakhstan. Oh, cool. Craig, let's see. Great to see Drew's growth on here. Morning, Drew. Cool. Thanks, Craig. Appreciate that, man. Ryan, Caleb, Justin. Good morning, everybody. Let's see. David said, I've never bought a lottery ticket in my life. You're smart, David. Save your money. Stephen Hoogie. Hey, Matt. Good morning. Hey, Stephen Hoogie. What's up, man? Hoogie. Let's see. Sean, does an NFL player, Jay Bromley, have to be injured to be placed on IR? Please explain the process. Try not to be I feel bad that you have to say don't be condescending. Sometimes, Sean, there are injuries that happen. Elma Ducks, okay. So, well, you're watching Elma Ducks. You don't. Elma Ducks is on. And Sean, I don't know. My assumption is you could say, okay, well, why would a player want to go on IR? And I don't know, maybe Jay Bromley's injury is legitimate. Maybe it is, but I hadn't heard anything like that. If a player is on IR, it's my assumption, like they don't count against the roster, but they still get their check. They still get paid. So if you're Jay Bromley and you're kind of bouncing around from like and guys get game checks, so it's like you get paid a game check. So if you're not on the roster, you're not getting paid that week. So my assumption is if you're Jay Bromley, yeah, I'll go to IR. I'll get paid the rest of the season, hang around, Saints clubhouse or whatever, and maybe get a shot to make the team next year. So I mean, I guess there's ways that it could work. Ways it would be appealing. Because Bromley, got cut by the Giants. Saints signed him in the offseason. He went through training camp with the Saints. Didn't make the roster. They signed him back. He played a game, cut him again, and they signed him back. So, it makes sense. Jason DeRoche, good morning. When will we bring back the Fast Hour with Matt and Josh? You know what, Steven? Josh and I talk or text almost every day. And we have been talking about, doing a podcast. He and I, him from Houston, me from here. And it's kind of about ironing out. I go on his show every week in Houston. Every Tuesday at 9 a.m. I go on his show in Houston. So if you miss that combination, you can hear us Tuesdays at 9 on Boom, Boom, Boom. You want Boom, Boom, Boom? What? Boom, Boom, Boom?
Bye.
Bye what?
Bye.
You want Boom, Boom?
Bye.
Okay. Boom, Boom is the Ansco March. The Ansco marching one? Boom, 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 boom. That's Boom, Boom. Just so y'all know. He's not singing that song by the Vanga Bus. Remember the Vanga Bus? Boom, 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 boom. I want you in my room. Spend the night together from now until forever. Boom, 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 boom. I want a double boom. Spend the night together in my room. Y'all remember that? The Vanga Bus? The band, the Vanga Boys. They had that song, The Vanga Bus. The Vanga Bus is coming and everybody's jumping. New York to San Francisco. You know what I'm talking about. Kyle, the chaos is why we watch. I actually believe it. We're here checking on Drew. Totally believe it. Craig Savoie, number 15, Hart. Hey, Aunt Mary, good morning. Paul Dykes, James Tyrone, good morning. Mickey Trish, good morning. Good morning from Nashville. Thanks, James. Appreciate that, man. James, they ship Boudreaux's to Nashville. BoudreauxMix.com. BoudreauxMix.com. Bloody Mary mix, margarita mix. Taste of home from Homa. David Bailey, how much will ratings drop this weekend with two big SEC teams not playing? Are you just talking about on CBS? I haven't looked at the whole weekend schedule yet. Let me pull. I know Oklahoma State and Texas are the ABC night game, and I think that's appealing because there is. I know anytime I talk about Texas, it's everyone's antenna goes up like it's a red flag because of Tom Herman. But Texas is a national brand, obviously, and I think there's a lot of people who have not watched Texas play this year that look up, see their record, see that they're top 10 in the country, and now going, oh. And so, playing playing Oklahoma State, that night game, that'll be big. Florida State is at Clemson. I'm sorry. Clemson is at Florida State. And I'm curious, that's 11 a.m. ABC. I am curious about that one because every team, Purdue proved this last week against Ohio State. Every team has their best bullet in their gun. Like, every team has that game when everything works. The game plan is perfect. It was like LSU against Georgia. Game plan was perfect. They played it perfectly. LSU and Georgia play 100 times. LSU doesn't beat Georgia by 20, but a handful. I mean, I'm not saying LSU wouldn't beat Georgia, but beat them by 20, like the way they did. That's the outlier. But every team has that bullet in their gun. So I just wonder, like, Florida State has far from played their best game, but they've still recruited well. I mean, you still got guys like Cam Akers around there. Like, you've got talent on that Florida State team. It's in Tallahassee. I'm just curious if Florida State gets, like, sky high and plays their best game. They've been playing better the last 3 weeks. I'm curious if maybe Florida State can maybe pull that upset against Clemson. I'm going to watch out for. You got Florida, Georgia. So, I mean, I know you mentioned like Bama and LSU not playing, but Florida, Georgia's a top 10 matchup. Georgia's 7, Florida's up to 9. So you do have a major matchup in the SEC in the cocktail party at 2:30. Penn State and Iowa are both ranked. You got some good matchups. I think you're probably just talking about the SEC, but you got some good matchups this weekend. Washington State coming off their big win is at Stanford. So that's 2 ranked teams. That's a 6 o'clock game. I think that's ESPN, isn't it? It's Pac-12 Network. Hate the Pac-12 Network. Can't get it. Texas A&M is at Mississippi State. State coming off that loss to LSU. Might get to see Keaton Thompson at quarterback. I mean, you got some games, man. You got Pac-12 after dark, Oregon at Arizona. So in the Texas Oklahoma State game I mentioned. So you got some good games this week, man. For me, anyway. Like I'm intrigued by a lot of these. So, hey, Jason Swain, what's up, Swain? Love it, dude. My guy, Jason Swain, former Vol wide receiver. Jason Swain just sent me a message. He's watching. My dude. Let's see. Sorry, I scrolled past. Wayne Ferguson, good morning. Blake, good morning. Jackie Caruso, Richard Dodd. Let's see. Do you let Tua run because of his injury? Play it opposite of Manziel. I don't think so, man. Because he's played with it, and he's got 2 weeks to get right. It's honestly, it's the same thing they did against Jalen Hurts 2 years ago. You just create a lot of tight windows. You make him try to fit the ball in the tight windows, and you trust Greedy and Fulton and Delpit and Kerry Vincent. You trust those guys to play coverage and be really good. Joe, did you watch the Pelicans didn't play their best game and still won? I was watching World Series last night, Joe, but I did flip back and forth. I saw AD's line. He's so good. It's just, Joe, it's hard for me. And actually, Scott Kushner, who covers the Pelicans for The Advocate, talked to him for a story he's writing. So I'll share that when it comes out. I think it's coming out today. It's just about fan interest in the Pelicans. It's like, and the concept basically is, can this team do anything to penetrate attention right now with LSU and the Saints? And I don't think they can. Not on Moss anyway. Like, you're going to have your diehard NBA fans, that crew, but like, I'm trying to get people to what? To try to get people to stop paying attention to to Saints or LSU, especially when the Saints are leading the division, 5-1. LSU is going to be in the first college football playoff rankings. Like, it just, when people have, like, some of you have heard my buffet analogy, and that's what I think. I explained that to him too, but I just think you're trying to untie generations of loyalty in those fan bases where it's like, people plan their whole fall calendar around football. And so it's just very hard, I think, for the Pelicans, no matter what they do, to penetrate that. I mean, it's not to say people are obviously paying more attention. The playoff run last year, I think, was a huge help, and people are recognizing how great Anthony Davis is. But I still think, man, it's like, check back with me in December. Like when the LSU season ends, you get that lull during the, from the end of the regular season to the bowl, like, people start to pay attention. Anyway, just my thoughts on it. David Kelly, Brad Jean, Cheyenne Dupree, good morning. Hey, Libby Davis Morrell. Kip Keppers, good morning. Celeste, what's up? Nick Coombs, what's up? Nick Coombs. Steve Menard, good morning, Matt. Now that we move past the Devin White suspension, can you talk about keys to playing a competitive game against Bama? Things Orlando might focus on. Did an interview yesterday on WJOX in Birmingham. It's a 3-man front. It's their midday show. Cole Kublik is on it. And he asked me the opposite. He said, what does LSU have to do to score, to keep up with Tua? And I said, man, Cole, I don't think LSU is going to try to trade blows with Bama like that. Like, I don't think LSU's looking to go play a 35-31 game. He said, well, how many points do you think LSU needs to score to win? I was like, it's a good question. I mean, and I went back, and you look back all the way back to 2008. Bama hasn't scored more than 27. Elmo Ducks. Bama hasn't scored more than 27 in Tiger Stadium. And that was the overtime game in 2008. You know, so it's like, even and everyone says, yeah, but the difference is Tua, and you're right. I mean, I get it. But also, like we've talked about a million times, like, this will be the toughest test Bama has faced. Just like we talked about with Georgia. You know, Georgia, even when Georgia was playing badly, they were still scoring 40 and beating people by 2 touchdowns. So what happens when someone comes and actually you face a little adversity or gets a lead on you? That's a long way of answering your question. Obviously, look, they got great running backs too. You got Damian Harris, you got Najee Harris. My guess is, as dumb as this is going to sound, like, you don't let those guys gas you up the middle, and you make Tua beat you throwing the ball, and you trust that you got Greedy, and you got Grant Delpit, and you got Fulton, and you got Vincent, and you could play nickel and dime packages and try to win one-on-ones with their receivers. Because as good as Jerry Jeudy and Devontae Smith are, and as dynamic as those guys are, like, you got to trust your athletes, man. That's always been the thing. Like, when they've had Julio Jones or they've had Amari Cooper, I mean, you put Pat Pete or Trey White or Mo Claiborne, you put those guys out there and say, hey, man, go lock them down. Go be an All-American. Don't give up 8 catches for $175. You give up 2 for 46 or 3 for 46. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to be able to win one-on-ones. Craig, will I have to endure another off-season from stocking chowderheads? Probably. They're really good, man. What's the biggest difference between LSU 17 and 18 versus Bama? Honestly, Bobby, I think this offense is way more capable, man. Like, Matt Canada was still running jet sweeps last year at this time against, and running sideline to sideline against Bama is a fail. Now, they took some shots deep last year and had guys open. And I'll tell you the biggest difference, Alabama defensively still has a lot of talent. There's no question. But their defensive line doesn't have the rotation that they've had. Like 2 years ago, that team that had Tim Williams and Jonathan Allen and all those guys, like, that team rotated 9 guys across that front. This team doesn't have that depth. That's one. 2, they've really been injured in the linebacker at linebacker. I mean, I think Mac Wilson and Dylan Moses are as good of an inside linebacker combo duo that you'll find in the country. I mean, they're awesome. But they've had a lot of injuries at linebacker. They don't have great depth there. And the same in the secondary. They've had a lot. Like, this Alabama defense, their frontline guys are as awesome as Bama's ever been. What they don't have is the depth. So if you make that team defend for 70 plays over 60 minutes, I think LSU can win the fourth quarter against Bama. It's just getting there, And you've seen that with LSU this year. Like, LSU has been dominant in the fourth quarter. Like, they start fast, they have that lull, and then in the fourth quarter, that's when they boat race people. But I think that's the biggest difference. I think, like, Missouri scored against Bama. You look at Bama, their defense is still great, but you're used to seeing number 1 in scoring defense, 3 in rush defense, 2 in total defense. Like, now they're, 30, 38. They're still really good, but they're not impenetrable, I'm just getting to the boom boom. Michael Clark thought it was Black Eyed Peas song. Nah, the boom boom boom. Am I just getting to those? Golly, I'm far behind. Let's see. We'll do about 7 more minutes, y'all. Go to 8:20. Then I got to wrap this up. Go get Drew changed. I'm ready to get on about his day. What's that red team's rushing attack look like this year? Will they be able to gash up the middle? Devin, they're really good, man. Damian Harris, Najee Harris, they're really good, man. They got at least 2 like legit NFL running backs, and a good offensive line like they always do, man. They have been injured on their line. Matt Womack, if you remember, who's an LSU commit, transferred to Bama. I think he's playing left. He started guard. I think he's playing left tackle now because they've had some injuries. They need to go check. I mean, I'll get deeper into that obviously next week. But they've had some injuries there, man. I'm telling you, Bama is good. They're averaging 54 a game. They're better than everybody. What I'm telling you is, for the first time in a long time, their depth isn't what it's been. They're great. I mean, don't get me wrong, but their depth also hasn't been challenged because, they score 42 on Tennessee in the first half. David, will LSU be scared to attack the quarterbacks against Bama? I don't think so, man. Does someone like Jacoby Stevens spy on Tua? I don't think so. I don't think you can commit a spy. Aranda's never done that. I don't think that he'll start in this game. Brian, Matt, do you pair Boudreaux and whiskey? I do not. The whiskey I drink is all neat or rocks, so I got a lot of really good stuff that I just enjoy sipping, and I got so many different bottles of it. It's just you collect it, and then it's just what flavor you're in the mood for. Are you in for something sweet? Are you in the mood for something oaky? Are you in the mood for something spicy? Are you in the mood for something hot? Are you in the mood for something mild? It just kind of depends on what your vibe is that day. And that's the other thing. True, Pete. I don't do Bloody Marys. I wish I did, but I don't. They always look so good. I don't, but I'll do margaritas, and this stuff's really good. boudreauxmix.com. Also, morningscone.com. Please sign up for your Morning Scone daily email if you've not yet done that. morningscone.com. We had our biggest growth week since we started last week. So last week was our biggest growth week. So thank you very much to all of you who are signed up for the Morning Scone daily email, which is totally free, and continue to interact with it. And as always, if you got feedback, please let me know. You can when you get your email from Matt at morningscone.com, you can reply to that, and it comes directly to me. So, thank you. Jay, Notre Dame has trouble stopping the option. Don't sleep on Navy. I'm going to sleep on Navy. Jay, I'm going to sleep on Navy. Notre Dame's going to win it. Notre Dame's really good. Jeannie Darling, good morning. Justin Rays, how do we sign up for the morning email? Thank you, Justin. Good question. It's just morningscone.com. Morningscone.com. All that is a landing page with a bar for you to enter your email address, and you're signed up. There's a video that explains the email too, but and then every day at 6 a.m. the email drops. And give it a few days, because the first couple of days it's probably going to pull some older stories too, just for the algorithm to learn like what you like, because everybody's email is different. It'll prioritize stories based on what you like. So if you like Saints, it'll prioritize Saints stuff. If you like LSU, it'll prioritize LSU. If there's other things in the SEC that it'll prioritize that. If you like podcasts, you know what I mean. So give it like a day or two, and you'll start to see it round in the forum. Morningscone.com. Kyle, we need Florida to beat Georgia. If LSU wins out, I'd rather play Florida than have to beat Georgia twice. I agree with that, especially there. Derek said, let's beat Alabama first. I agree with that too. Gage Stelly, Matt doesn't need to pair anything with his whiskeys. Drinks like... There you go. Rusty, what's up? Let's see. Justin Ray. Let's see. Jeannie, more please. Tim Davis. Good morning. Oh, Jeannie, darling, please don't talk to me about those holding calls. Please don't. Oh. Everyone's looked at a screenshot. No one's gone back and actually watched the play because none of it was blatant. Arms get wrapped, that happens. None of those are blatant. You screen grab any play in history, and you'll see guys reaching or grabbing, like any play in history. And the fact is, you cannot win a game. Like, it is literally impossible. You cannot win a game if you don't score a point. You can't win without scoring at least a point. And you got shut out in your own stadium. So, I'm like, the LSU fans that build in those excuses about holding calls, or like, if you blame the officials, like, you never hear winning teams talk about the officials. Like, just be better. Score points this time, and give yourself a chance to win. All right, stepping off my soapbox. Richie, don't sleep on Kentucky. Hey, Richie, I agree with you, man. They get Georgia at home. Tricky spot this week for Kentucky, but man, you know, I agree. Like, they got to play Missouri, and then they get Georgia, I think, in Tennessee, and they're going to be favored against Missouri and Tennessee. They beat Georgia at home. Kentucky controls their destiny. They win the East. Their last two games are non-conference games. They got a layup, and then they play Louisville in the last week. So by the second week in November, the East could be locked up for Kentucky. Hey, Carrie Hughes, good morning. Michael Castello, good morning. Mark said, what do you think about the Pelicans starting 3-0? Talked about that a little bit ago, Mark. I think it's awesome. Just 79 to go. Let's see. Jeannie, Eric Reed made the play in 2011. The interception was a beautiful play, man. Golly. He stole up all the way from the tight end to the goal line. It's a beautiful play, man. Let's see, Michael. Morning, Matt. White coaches up Queen. Then after half, he comes out in the black duster, cowboy hat, and the Undertaker theme music. That would be pretty fun. Jerry, see, good morning, Matt. Last night, Feinbaum said LSU shouldn't have a chance to win. That's what he said. What do you think? I think he's wrong. Very wrong. Very wrong. I've seen lesser LSU teams have Bama on the ropes in Baton Rouge. If this game were in Tuscaloosa, I'd probably agree. The games in Tuscaloosa have been more one-sided, but the games in Baton Rouge, and Bama hadn't scored 30 on LSU since 2002 in Baton Rouge. So, yeah, LSU got a chance. Of course LSU has a chance to win. Gene Brightside, Devin White will be well rested coming out in third. It's absolutely true. Keith Rosenbach, what's up? Oh, Mark, you went to Alice in Chains. It's awesome. Alice in Chains was at the Sanger last night. I'd known they'd gotten a new lead singer because Lane Staley died years ago, but played all the hits and everything. That's really cool, man. Cath in Arkansas scored 31 on. They did. Some of that was late, but they were on the goal line in the first half, looking to make it a 21-14 game, pulling in the score, and they fumbled at the goal line. Arkansas did. I'm telling you, Bama's defensively the most vulnerable they've been probably in the Saban era. Mark, what's the starting price for LSU Bama Ticks on StubHub? I don't even know, man. I haven't looked. Craig, I just discovered Community Coffee Iced Latte. I've been missing out. Good God, that's morning pick me up. Eric, what do you think of the Saints trade for Eli Apple? Love it, Eric. I'm curious to see if Eli Apple can play like a first rounder. Truly, they don't need him to be. They need him just to be the number 2 opposite Lattimore. I'm curious about all the off-the-field stuff, but considering LSU's got 7 Ohio State guys on their roster and a bunch of them that played with Apple, including Lattimore and Von Bell and Michael Thomas, they probably all vouched for him. So I'm excited. They needed to address it. Craig, I could screen grab LSU's O-line and call a plethora of holding calls. It's very true. It's 100% true. But but this is what I'd say all the time, man. When you're looking for it, when you're looking for an excuse, a scapegoat, like, you'll find it. And unfortunately, LSU fans have gotten to that point with Bama where they're looking for things. It's like in a basketball game. If you feel like a referee missed a call against your team in a basketball game, then the fans get to where, like, every subsequent moment in the flowing action where you feel like there's a hand check or something doesn't go your way, you just keep going nuts. Like because you just started to focus on that instead of just letting the games play. Anyway, all right, y'all, I'm about to have to bounce here. Oh, it's 8:22. I gotta go. All right. All right, y'all. Thank you as always for watching. Boudreaux's Bloody Mary Mix, Margarita Mix. You can get it all over Baton Rouge. Alexander's, Calandro's, Calvin's, Canadas, Mid-City Craft Wine and Brew. If you're outside of Baton Rouge like many of you are, boudreauxmix.com. They'll ship a bottle. They'll ship a case. boudreauxmix.com. Please check it out. And click on their link in this post and like their page. That would be super duper helpful. Appreciate y'all as always for listening. Morningscone.com. Locked on LSU, AFR later this afternoon. So appreciate y'all all very much, and we will see you mañana.